Okay, let's go with the second part of this first document. The idea is to practice a little with uh, with a file, with the SPSS file called telcom totals that we built up, that we obtained in the previous exercise in which we run this merge example. Um, well, as I say in the document, if you are not able to create your merged file, maybe you can start this part by opening directly this Telcom Totals backup that is already uploaded in the IE campus. Well, the first question we have to solve is how many customers with closed contracts have we got in our file? Well, um, we're going to open in SPSS this file, this total. Okay, so it's sorry, recently used data. In my case, I have this file already and recently used data. So I open the file. Okay, and now to see to answer this first question, how many closed contracts, if I'm not wrong, I'm going to, how many, yes, closed contracts do we have? Basically, I'm going to run a frequencies analysis, so analyze descriptive statistics and then frequencies. This is the option we use to analyze, to basically analyze categorical variables. So I click on frequencies and simply select the variable account status. Remember that if you want to see variable names, you right click on the mouse and select the option display variable names. So I select this variable and simply click OK, because the option display frequency tables is already set. So I click OK and wait to see the results. If I cannot see the output window, remember that you can access this output window using Alt Tab, of course, but also using window and then output window. Okay. Well, this is a table, and the problem we have here is that we have this category here. I mean, our variable, our account status variable, if you take a look at the properties, is let me go there to the file. If you take a look at the variable view, you can see that this status is a string variable. That means that when SPSS finds blank space, it considers these blanks as a valid category, and for that it represents also in the table the frequency for this category. It is obvious that this category is not of interest, so we need to repeat the table, that before that we need to declare this blank space as a missing value. There are several ways of doing that, but maybe the simplest one is go to data properties, okay, and then define, so to variable properties in the data menu, so and define this blank space as missing. So here we select status, account status, okay. We explore, let's say, this variable, the characteristics of this variable, and what we see here is that SPSS has identified this category as a valid one, and what we have to do is to declare this category as missing, okay, and simply click OK. Now we repeat the frequencies table, and for this account status variable, and then we see that the number of closed contracts is 645. That means around 43% of valid cases. Okay. Well, the second question um, was yes, to compare local calls for males and females, and also single versus married people. Well, the interesting point of this example is that I'm going to use at the same time, or I have to use at the same time, two categorical variables in order to explore one scale variable. We will see how to, we will explore later on in the next term of the course, how to choose the right resource, the right graph, or the right table. Today is only about SPSS. Is only about learning how to use SPSS. Okay. What I'm going to do, and this analysis has to be done only for current customers. So the first thing I have to do is to select these current customers. Okay, so I'm going to use first of all this select procedure. I'm going to change to data view, and then data select cases. Well, this is a very interesting procedure in SPSS. Okay, we select cases, and then we select the condition that account status has to be current. So basically we click on if and then write a condition. Well, the condition basically is that status equal to double quotes, okay, current. It is this expression builder is case sensitive, so you have to take care about how if you write correctly the words when it's about basically when the condition is written for a string variable such as this one. These double quotes are also important when a condition includes a text such as this one. So we click on continue, and interestingly what we see in our data file, I'm going to switch to data view. Okay, what you see here in the data view is that some cases are temporarily dropped out of the file. So if we run now a given procedure, this new procedure will already be executed for the selected cases, in this case current records, okay, current customers. So now it's time to explore the graph, okay, for these local calls, males and females, and civil status. Okay, we're going to use the chart builder, so we enter into graphs, chart builder, and then here we're going to select this type of graph that is clustered ever bar. We drag this type of graph in this white box, and then simply set the three variables we need for the analysis. Well, the scale variable we're going to explore is the y-axis variable, so basically I drag local calls here. The first categorical variable, we may use this x-axis to represent this variable, would be sex, and the third variable, the second categorical variable I'm going to use to explore these local calls will be marital status, and that's all. Well, before closing this dialog box, I'm going to change the scale of this y-axis using the option of element properties y-axis, because if not, it will not be easy to compare the different means, okay, for men and women, single and married people, because those means are very, very similar. So we may focus, okay, we may change this scale starting at not at 0 but let's say at 50. Okay, I know the number to use because I've done the example previously. Obviously, in a real example, you first draw the graph, and then you see that you need to reshape the axis, and then you come back to this dialog box and change the option. Okay, then it's very important that you click apply, okay, and then simply okay. You see the graph we were looking for. We have to wait a little, okay. This running graph, okay, very slow, looks like very slow. And here we have basically the results. What we see is that female have higher values than men, looks like, okay, slightly higher values. And for the case of men, single people have even lower values than married men. Okay. Well, the third part of this example is to represent the same idea using a table, and in this case we're going to use a very interesting feature of SPSS. There is this custom properties. So I come back to the data set. I still have in this the data file filter, as you can see here in this border, and also here in the status bar you'll see this kind of filter on message. Okay, so we click analyze and then tables and then custom tables, and now it's very easy. Once again, I have two categorical variables that I'm going to use for rows and columns, and a scale variable that I'm going to put inside the table, in the inner part of the table. So I'm going to use sex here as a variable for rows, and then marital status here for columns, and local calls here inside the table. When I cannot select this part, but I can basically put this variable inside, selecting this area here or this area here at the right side of this rows variable. So I simply drop the variable here, and that's all for the example. I simply click OK, and I see the numbers of the previous graph, let's say. Okay, let's see if there's something else. Not anything else, sorry. So that's all